with that whole agility shift and compared to other heroes. So I don't think it's a huge issue for Priest Gaming. It's just the fact that, again, you're going to have to just let Dirkseer do his thing for the most part. Somewhat goes back to Silencer. Is like, what does he really do about it? I suppose, okay, I mean, Silencer against the Darkseer doing this might not be horrible considering you just throw Arcane's Curse up, as well as even Last Turtle once he gets that leveled up, and it will be annoying for Zibe, so he has that going for him.
Yeah, but he's just being annoying, but he's not really stopping the game plan at all of this Darkseer.
No.
And I don't really think he can, but, you know, he's giving Vtoon all these solo levels. You're totally right about the fact that Morphling is perfectly happy to farm under tower. And as well, you know, he's getting the pull into the hard camp, so he's going to be getting even more farm than that. But it looks like Hanskin does not want to let Vtoon farm this creep wave.
Well, of course not. He's going to come over and start smacking Vtoon a little bit. Doesn't want to make his life easy. So Silencer instead will come over and take a couple of the CS. Might as well have somebody get it. But no, Darkseer showing up. Different story. I'm gonna body them out. All right, there are the lanes. So let's take a look at the bottom lane. It's a Lone Druid Oracle versus Shadow Demon Sand King. Sand King is the farm.
I have to interrupt you because I think Undershock Key might be in a bit of trouble here. Hanskin charging. He has the Iron Shell on him. And I think Undershock Key might just be dead.
Oh, gets the Bash proc. Even without the Bash proc, probably doesn't matter again. He has no way to get away really before level 6. So, yeah, good charge.
Yeah, they just correctly identified that Chessie had got him decently low, and Spirit Breaker with an Iron Shell before he's level 6. You know, you also had the stun with Boundless Strike to hold him in position, and they capitalized on killing the Storm Spirit before level 6, and that's really what you want to do, just kill him again and again pre-6.
Oh, the bear does go down right there. I went to the bottom lane, and the bear was very low, and the Caustic Finale tick actually finished off the bear, so plus 300 gold. The way of Sand King. That's a nice little bounty for him. And Lone Druid, of course, spawns another one, but again, giving up that bounty. I'm looking middle lane. Oracle's just watching Storm Spirit.
She started off with an Invis Rune, and she just stood there the entire time. He played it safe. I'm pretty sure he had an idea that she was there. But literally, Era just stayed there even until the Invis Rune expired. But now they've seen the Oracle mids, you know, I don't know if they can kill Frost, but, you know, they'll continue to look to pressure the bear and him until the Oracle returns.
He's going to be fine, but makes life a little more difficult for sure. Of course, Oracle is good for the poison stacks of Shadow Demon. You see him constantly throwing those out, so they do have Era there ready to go for a Dispel if need be. Here they might come into play. Lone Druid going to be gone on. So instead of dispelling Lone Druid, he goes for the root on Yoku. I don't know about that.
I mean, I think I have to agree with you, and I think it's cost Frost his life. I think he just wanted to hold Yoku in position, but he didn't identify all the stacks over here. Oh, in the mid lane, Chessie. Oh, Undershot. Nice turnaround there. And yet he didn't correctly identify that Frost. You know, he was already at 4 stacks, and with that disruption, Era, he just, you know, he wanted to go for what is a more usual defensive play of not letting them get on top of your carry. But it just meant that Frost, he got the 5 stack and eventually does go down. And 2 kills across the map. Chessie just getting a bit over aggressive in the mid lane.
All 3 lanes. I was watching the top lane action too as they dove the tower, but then, yeah, as you pointed out, mid lane Storm Spirit gets the big turn kill, the solo turn kill onto Chessie. So he is making his way back to base to regen, but Chessie is suffering that death. He's back in, though, continue to farm. Yeah, it just goes into those heat of the moment plays that I'm sure if he has a second guess of that, you know, he analyzes it, he would 100% agree that, okay, yeah, I definitely should have purged the Lone Druid, but heat of the moment, goes for the quick root, and that's the other unfortunate thing, too, because it was such a quick cast on that Fortune's End, so it was like not even a half-second root at that point. But either way, what's done is done. The bounty rune control, it's going to be a 2 for 2. Zibe got that top one bottled up even. So a little bit of extra value, and Spirit Breaker's at the bottom lane currently, so the Sand King and Shadow Demon might need to be careful. I don't even know if they are aware that Spirit Breaker's down here. Yeah, wrapping around.
He charged in to get the 5-minute bounty rune, and they disrupted him. So I'm pretty sure they know he's sticking around. But yeah, I do just want to give Era the benefit of the doubt because, you know, obviously, as spectators, we have these lovely big red letters above the names, and you can't see that if you're playing the game. So it's, you know, it's a bit tough unless a Frost calls out, you know, I'm affected by 5 stacks. Please save me, Oracle.
Yeah, no, it's that's a fair point. Yoku is gonna be fine. walks away. Disruption used on Spirit Breaker there. So Spirit Breaker, Hanskin's had enough of trying to go for the bottom lane. He's going to head back towards the mid lane even. And Storm Spirit's up pretty far. So, oh, no, he's charging bottom. He actually got scanned out right there. But the charge hitting Sand King in the Sandstorm, but as soon as he hits, it doesn't really result in much. Sand King's going to be fine.
Yep, one of the issues with Hanskin sticking around in the bottom lane is that he's not playing with the Darkseer. And admittedly, you don't need to help Zibian lane. You know, he'll be able to do what he does in jungle, muck with the Heatwave Equilibrium all by himself because, as we said, the Silencer doesn't really have any kill potential on him. But it does mean that when he's making these charges now, because he hasn't been in the top lane, he doesn't have the Iron Shell. And that, you know, as a level 4 Spirit Breaker, you're not really doing all that much. You offer a very short stun, but there's no real damage coming in from you.
Now Root Proc on Sidoi. He's trying to walk away. Another Root Proc, maybe the death of him, but he's going to be fine. He barrel strikes at the last second. Good to go. He is working on that Villa Discord. We've seen this build a couple of times recently on Sand Kings. So that's the direction that he's headed. Always interesting to see how Lone Druid builds and also get that answer on whether or not it's going to be a bear arranged for him. I assume it is going to be the bear build. In fact, the changes that he got in the patch, he suggests the bear build that much better because the true form, like I said, he actually gets tankier now when he's in that melee form. So, but yeah, Frost, he's queuing up a hand of Midas. Like I said, I would assume we are going to see the Radiance and usual bear build here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know of any other way to build the bear that's particularly viable. You know, you see occasionally, you know, like Mask of Madness, Vladimir's Basher, if you're feeling very early game pressure.
Huh, that was a trade. Silencer goes down, but so does Spirit Breaker. Zibi got credit for the kill first on Silencer, at least, a way of TFT. But even the wall use, so it looks like a bit of chaos at that top lane, but both cores staying alive.
Yeah, Vitoon, you know, #1 in the CS, he's had a, you know, fairly unimpeded time here. And usually when you pick a Darkseer, you want to be at least pressuring the core a tiny bit. But, you know, it's exactly as you said. While they were cutting the wave, Vitoon was just more than happy to farm under tower, even pulling it into the camp. And he's just so good at denying with all that base damage.
Lone Druid in trouble bottom lane. Oracle's not here, but Storm Spirit certainly is. And Frost, no chance of survival. The second Storm Spirit came in, especially with a double damage rune. So good decision from the Dire team to rotate in and make that kill happen. Villa Discord also just finished and purchased by Sand King. So nice point being hit here for a Priest game, and it feels like Storm Spirit got his power treads now. Gonna get a tier 1 tower out of this. We'll see if they can feed off of this momentum and how much movement they continue to make.
Yeah, this really kind of hurts Lone Druid because, you know, he's pretty good at winning his own lane, defending his own towers. You know, he's usually the one you see getting the aggressive tower on his own lane because he's been able to win. But, you know, now gone down twice, a nice rotation by the Storm Spirit, especially with that GD rune. And it looks like he's making things happen in the top lane as well.
Yeah, answer pretty quickly with Thundershock, and whether or not he's going to keep that momentum up. Goes top lane, gets a kill. Vitoon getting low though, has waveform, he gets rooted up. Can't waveform through that, gets Bash Proc on top, but he is shifting the strength the whole time. 20 point of life, all of a sudden he's good to go. Sand King, Sandstorm's canceled, and he's trying to run away. Villa Discord already used. He's going to make his way back into the trees and survive, so back and forth clash.
The side of Final Tribe, they have brought their full 5-man up here. The Silencer, he's in the mid lane, I think, trying to get level 6, but no, he's actually TPing in for them.
Oh, Era goes down, Undershock chases on him, gets the kill, but Wukong's man throwing down Morphling. Just simply going to walk on out of it, and here comes Silencer as mentioned. Undershock uses that ball lightning to get out of the Wukongs. Oh, Chessie, a little bit awkward there with the timing. The bounty runes are going to make them fight even further disruption on Monkey King, so clearly they have vision up here, at least they know that, but Chessie is going to manage to get away somehow, despite getting disrupted in the trees. Frost could not, however. Frost goes down again, so Priest Gaming doing a great job of brawling early on in this game, and they are taking quite a hero kill lead as well as that net worth lead.
Yeah, I think if the Final Tribe, they brought everyone up here, I guess they were just looking for hopefully some sort of kill into this tower, claim their first objective on the map, because obviously you do have a Lone Druid, you're able to push. They use the Wukong command, they use everything, but without their level 6s, you know, without False Promise to save someone, you've now hit level 6 on the Spirit Breaker, but, you know, he didn't have his Nether Spike. They just don't have enough disable for the Storm Spirit. They even missed the the boundless strike, so he wasn't held in the Wukong's command for any period of time. And you know, they've killed Frost again and again, and he's alive without his bear for, you know, it would have been a significant period of time. And these fights, they're not going the way of the side of the final tribe. At this moment in time, I don't think they're able to fight early because of their lack of lockdown. It's Undershock, he's able to just dance around them in the fights, and there's not much they can do.
I honestly don't understand Frost even trying to be here to assist. Like, Lone Druid is not a hero that fights early on. This is a hero that statically farms, whether it's the Hand of Midas, whether it's the Radiance, and then maybe the Radiance especially is like, okay, I can at least do something now. But it seems like he's trying to get too involved with the team. I mean, he already has 3 deaths now. And in fact, as we're sitting in this pause, I noticed he changed his mind even potentially, and he has a Radiance now queued up. I don't think he finished the Midas. We'll check here in a second on the bear. But again, the struggle life is real for Lone Druid, and that's where the Monkey King's going to have to come into play. I mean, we saw praised Chessie yesterday in the active Monkey King play. And they are going to need to start playing this 4-1 strategy. I'm confirming now, he doesn't even have the recipe. He has gloves with haste on the bear, but he's like, I can't spend time getting that Midas still. It's just too far behind. I got to go the Radiance now.
Yeah, you're totally right. You do have to praise Frost because you know, a lot of players would just be steadfast. I need my Midas on the Lone Druid, but he knows we have to hit certain items by a certain timing if we're going to win this game. And so just the straight rush of the Radiance, and I can't say I blame him with the kind of game he's been having. He knows it would have been too far set back if he got that Midas. And I'm looking at the net worth now, and you can see the 3 cores for the side of Pries. They are all on top with an early lead, and they're the ones, in my opinion, who have the better scaling late game. And so coming out the lanes ahead, going into the mid game, I think you have to feel very scared if you're the side of the final tribe.
Radiant's middle tower.
3-man smoke gang, Shadow, Demon, Storm Spirit, and Morphling all involved. But unfortunately for them, all 5 TFT heroes are at the top lane. So I guess they're really trying to bait alone. They're like, you know what, he's died 3 times. They're probably going to try to kill him again. Let's just all surround the Lone Druid and see if we can get any turn kills. But the timing just happens to be a little off because Priest doesn't really care right now. They are instead going to push the mid-tier 1. And TFT will have to react to that, at least start heading back. But there's an Arcane Rune currently active on Storm Spirit, and all 5 Priest heroes are within the area. So I don't know about this fight if you're TFT, but Sonoa, he is going to find one. He finds the Monkey King. Global Silence comes out as well. Monkey King, the lockdown, way too much of the Vortex on top of that. He does buy back, wanting to fight the still. Hoskin ends up going to take down. The wall was put down. Created some illusions. Chessie cancels the Wukong. The Balance Strike coming out, though, as well. I did get a Primal Spring in. Keep this chase going. They really want the Storm Spirit, but it's just a little bit too slippery with that ball lightning. Yoku's running away as well. Silencer ended up getting picked out, but he's already pressed R. So he's done his job. And the ultimate trade is a 1-for-1. Well, I guess it was a 2-for-1, and the buyback happened on Monkey King.
Yeah, it's as you say, they found the Monkey King. I don't know if you saw how that fight started, but Final Tribe, they were going for the smoke, and the Sand King, he was doing a great job. He had an Invis Rune. He was sitting on this high ground, and he breaks the Monkey King smoke, and he instantly initiates, and that's how they were able to burst the Monkey King before he was able to do anything in the fight.
Spirit Breaker charging past the tower. The Nether Strike hits on the Sand King, but Storm Spirit in the backline. Pulled the Monkey King. He just put the Wukong down. A false promise comes out from Oracle. They are going to lose the Spirit Breaker though, but Storm Spirit continues to cause chaos in the backline. Monkey King's just sitting on a tree this whole time with a false promise. Can't do any damage, and his teammates are just all flying down around him. Triple kill for Undershock. This Storm Spirit is absolutely getting out of hand already in favor of Priest Gaming. TFT just keeps trying to force these fights that just doesn't seem like that they're going to win. And I go back to the idea of Lone Druid. I honestly don't understand what they're trying to do. You have a Lone Druid with literally boots and a glove of haste, and that's it. Like, he's not doing anything essentially in these fights, feels like. I'm not blaming Frost. It's just they keep trying to make these calls to involve him, and it's not working.
Yeah, I think you're right. They just have to farm for their next set of items. That fight in the mid lane, I don't know if you managed to catch the Storm Spirit, but he quite literally 3v1 all the heroes he killed. And Chessie, I think, is in real trouble here. They know he's low. Sadoy has been chasing him, and he's morphed into a tree. They know he's about here, but they don't know what he is. Oh, they found him at long last.
Yeah. Talk about a great hero against Monkey King too. We didn't even mention that, the idea of ball lighting, cutting down trees. He shows that right there. This Storm Spirit, it kind of goes back to my draft point too. It's kind of a half-assed lineup against the Storm Spirit as far as crowd control goes. It's like it potentially could be good, but so far it definitely has not. And with the scaling right now, it's going to be hard to find some answers here for TFT.
Yeah, I guess it's up to us then to, you know, come up with what can the final tribe do. And I think what they do have to do is they... usually I'd say, you know, you have to look for pickoffs and fight your way into them. But I don't think you can, at this stage of the game, you can kill off either the Morphling or the Storm Spirit, the two people who you'd really like to get pickoffs. It looks like they are settling for the Silencer here while he gets up a D-Ward before he dies.
So it's just like, all right, free money, I'll take it. And of course, sacrifices his life for it, but being a nuisance, gets the ward killed. As he ends up falling right there. He's back up in 19 seconds, not the end of the world for him. Shadow Demon trying to finish an 8th lens meanwhile, so having that much more reach in his abilities, especially for the Purge, is really good, and Disruption for that matter. Lone Druid, 2,400 gold saved up, so he is committing towards the Radiance. He obviously could have bought the Midas by now, but with the timing, he wants to just go for the Radiance at this point. Jesse's caught middle lane. That Soul Catcher applied, obviously plenty of initial burst damage. Again, the False Promise comes out, so it's going to allow for the Wukong's, and Storm Spirit going to get blown up in response. There you go for TFT. Here is an opening. Jesse getting so much gold for that bounty, 700 plus. He does end up dying after the False Promise wears off, but I think he has the last laugh right there as they finally are able to take on what feels like the raid boss this game.
Yeah, so a good fight for them. They made a nice initiation on him, but amazing positioning here. From Era, you know, he's just right here on the high ground, right behind his Monkey King, allows him to get off his spells before he goes down, and that results in the kill on the Storm Spirit. So you can be more than happy with that. A bit punished for that aggression, you know. When you've been winning fights, when you've been 3v1ing people, you do kind of feel like you're immortal, and they are proving that this Storm Spirit is not.
So it is not just Storm Spirit though. V-Tune on Morphling. He's 2-5. He is farming very efficiently. As we see the Manta Style almost finished. Talked about how important Manta Style is going to be for him this game, so that is around the corner. As he has 1,500 gold well saved up, just needs the Ultimate Orb, and then he even queues up the BKB after that as well. So with those two items together, it's going to feel like a pretty free game for the Morphling as far as his reign goes. So TFT, once again, having to be concerned about that, as that's an initiation middle lane. Storm Spirit follows it up. The epicenter from Sand King, but now Sand King, all these heroes here from TFT, they try to walk away. The wall is put down on the back line. So V2, though, he comes in as Spear Breaker. Morphling destructing as usual. Gets the kill on Monkey King, banished in the back lines. It catches. It looks like that's the Lone Druid. And Lone Druid is trying to walk away the fastest he can. He's slowed, though. And in fact, V2 is going to charge in once again as a Spear Breaker. How about that? Morphling, it's the second time we've seen him use Spear Breaker in these fights, and it seems to actually be working out pretty well for him.
Yeah, it's just so nice for him to be able to get on top of people. I thought the side of the final tribe, they were going to be able to turn that one around, you know, because they were able to save their Monkey King. They turned around the Burrow Strike Epicenter initiation that Sudoi had. That was very nice, but the side of Pries, they did have everyone else rotating in, and when they're taking these 5-on-5s, they are definitely the stronger team. The Lone Druid going down again. This is his 5th death on the Lone Druid. He's not even at the Relic. No Midas. And yeah, for the side, for Frost, you know, it's, as a Lone Druid, you really don't want to be dying this often. You know, he was able to help secure that kill on the Sand King, but when that's all you're getting and you're nowhere near your Radiance, I just don't think it's worth it. He needs to remain in the jungle, in the lanes, because he really isn't doing a lot in these fights without this Radiance.
Yeah. He is going to work on it once again. So we're 19 minutes into this game. No matter when he gets there now, it's going to be a much later Radiance than he would have liked. But obviously, you have to recover somehow. Jesse, also not doing much better. To be fair, he also has 5 deaths, in fact, himself on the Monkey King. In fact, they had this very same stat line of 1, 5, and 3. Funny enough. Echo Saber is delivered, though, to Monkey King, so he's got his initial tool for farming and decent damage as well. Darkseer's been quietly doing the best as far as farm goes. He went the early pipe this game, which is good against this dire lineup, so there is a bit of something to be happy about for TFT. But you look at the bigger picture for Priest, though, and, you know, Storage Spirit, he has an Orchid around the corner now. We talked about the Manta Style not being finished on Morphling. Soon to build a BKB. And Sand King with his Blink combo Priest just wants to keep going, and Storm's going to go all the way to tier 3, in fact, but realizing that it's not going to work, they're going to TP to the top lane. Try to catch the Starks here. No, they're going for the Bountyrians, actually.
Yeah, the main reason they came up here was for the Bountyrians. So yeah, I do like this itemization of the Pipe of Insight. It looks like, you know, he realizes they are just getting overwhelmed, burst down in fights by the magic damage, so he's going for the Guardian Greaves as well. If they do get pressured a bit too far, I don't think it's a bad idea to go back for the Helm of the Dominator, just because it allows you to get that split push on, where, you know, you just Iron Shell your Helm of the Dominator creep will allow you to push out your lanes a little bit more. Because, you know, usually that's the kind of thing Frost will be doing with his Lone Druid Bear, but just because of how far behind he is, you know, that's not going to be that viable for a while. And, you know, I think for the side of Pries, they will be able to kill this bear if it's out by itself as well.
Lone Druid, he could be in trouble again. Yep, Bolt Catcher initially, the Global Silence even used, so any chance of a response is nothing. Monkey King was nearby, but that's where the Global Silence is really good. Press star, and the rest of the team cannot do much to save the day for Lone Druid, despite them being somewhat nearby. So, excellent find again for Priest Gaming, and the Orchid now is going to be delivered out to Undershock, so he's going to have another tool to make sure he kills whatever target he jumps. They're going to get a tier 2 tower out of this as well, and I got to say, you look at the lineups, and I mean, I don't know. I was about to say TFT would have been the better for pushing towers, but I mean, Lone Druid's good, but yeah, he wants to farm all the time. Point is, that's 5 tower kills for Priest Gaming at 21 minutes into the game. That feels pretty good for them.
Yeah, Pries have been playing really well. They just came out these lanes massively ahead. And I just want to say, you see the advantage of having the silencer when you're ahead in the game, because you can just pop this global silence to secure these solo gank. If you're behind, you know, you feel like you have to save the global silence for a 5-on-5 fight. But when you're ahead, you honestly don't mind popping it for a valuable kill to keep the side of Final Stride down, because, you know, you still might be able to take those fights even without it.
Double damage rune bottom. Priest in the area to pick it up. Storm Spirit, he's going to do just that. He bottles it up, in fact, popped it, and he's going in for kills now. Went a little bit too far with the camera, but he did not. He gets the kill on Oracle. Finds the easy pick off there, so Oracle out for 30 more seconds. Roshan, of course, is up, and something that Priest Gaming may start thinking about in the near future when it comes to their control of the map right now. Spirit Breaker is going to charge all the way to the top lane. He does have the Spirit Vessel finished. Mention how that's going to be a pretty impactful item this game, but Onska needs to get out. He needs to TP away very soon right now. Oh, I think he might. Okay, he did not get or he's pinging, but Sadoi's not going to chase. At least yet.
Sadoi, he's just more focused in keeping these waves pushed in. But you can see, you know, he thought about escorting the wave if the Spirit Breaker was still sitting in the trees there. Undershock, I don't know if that was the reveal of his Orchid, but, you know, now certainly there's nothing the Oracle could do. Can't even save himself. And I expect Undershock to look for the Oracle every time on the back lines, unless he finds the Monkey King or someone else. He should be looking for the Oracle with this Orchid. And yeah.
Every time that's going to happen. There's nothing that Oracle can do about that, really. It's Storm Spirit's just too far ahead. Another free pickup. So I was about to say, if a fight engages there, Lone Druid's like 100 gold from his Radiance. How unfortunate would that be? But he doesn't get killed. He is going to stay alive. He gets the Radiance, and finally that's coming out. So 23.5 minute Radiance. Like I said, it's certainly not ideal, but you'll take it. It's better late than never. But this is the Roshan that's mentioned. Storm Spirit's getting very low for this, by the way. Wow. Actually, almost unlucky Dashbox could have ended his day, but he gets back, he pops the Shrine, he picks up the Aegis, and arguably one of the best Aegis carriers in Dota 2, so more to be feared from the side of the Final Tribe with that now happening.
Yeah, and eventually they will also scout out this regen rune as well. What better things can happen? Undershock, feels like such a nice game for this that this Storm Spirit's been able to have. Even though he was the first blood in the mid lane with a nice rotation from the Spirit Breaker, he really recovered. He managed to get the solo kill on the Monkey King by himself. And I wouldn't be surprised if once they have the BKB here on Vtoon, they start to look towards this final tier 2 that remains, and then the high ground.
Moving as a team is TFT. They kind of have to. That's just where the game state is at for them right now. Jesse, he is trying to build a BKB, but just really sitting on the Echo Saber at this point in the game as well. So, want to make sure and he can get that as soon as possible. What speed to lure out to Morphling? Okay, well, his own BKB. There you go. He right-clicks the BKB, and he's like, all right, I got one of these. I also have a Manta Style on top of that. No big deal.
Yeah,
like unstoppable.
I actually, at this moment in time, you know, while he has his BKB in his man cell, there's no way you're killing V-Tune because you just lack the lockdown, and there isn't a lot of burst for the side of the final tribe, you know. Even if you do set up with the Boundless Strike or the Nether Strike, there just isn't the burst while you have that control for the Morphling, and he'll have that BKB off in absolutely no time. And, you know, they've taken the final tier 2 tower, and I don't know why, you know, if they're really going to stop before the tier 3s.
Well, quick answer is they're not going all the way just yet, but they are going to clear out the resources outside of the base. So TFT is completely being choked out, and I mean the Radiant's now online finally for Lone Druid, but not much else. Not to keep bashing on that idea, but it's just TFT just does not have the firepower. Darkseer's net worth is looking decent, upwards of 10k, but quite engaging. Silence are going to be the target initially. The Iron Shell ticked down. He cannot press R, so they got the kill silencer. He does have a 5-back, though. He is going to use it, and he hasn't used global silence yet. Eventually it's going to come out. There we go. It stops at Wukong's, in fact, on Monkey King, so they pick off Shadow Demon, but Monkey King explodes to the Disruptor, or to, wow, the Purge of Shadow Demon. Singing Disruption all over the place. Either way, the numbers really wasn't that bad for TFT. So Priest Gaming, it's a 2-for-2, a buyback on either side. But
yeah, not an awful engagement. They just they weren't really set up for that. I don't know if you saw, but when the Storm Spirit was walking away to deal with the bottom wave, he walked past this ward over here, and that's what they were dewarding with the Oracle. And they were actually just set up for this. They had the Iron Shells on everyone, and the Silencer, you know, when he's affected by double Iron Shell and then has the Monkey King on top of him, he's not going to live through it. It was a nice buyback, allowing them to at least get something out of the fight, and they haven't burnt their Aegis just yet, but it does set them a little bit back from continuing this push.
Morphling, he's by himself. He is really far up right here. Okay, pops him in style. He is running away. Doesn't have the BKB yet. Gets out of the Wukong. So Undershock also shows up. So he's going to be distraction. Cannot pick off Oracle. False Promise is still ready to go. So TFT holding their ground, and they're going back on a Storm Spirit and stun. And the Aegis activated. Storm Spirit going to come up. Full life, full mana. Sand King wants to continue this initiation. Oracle, in fact, going to be the target for Storm Spirit, of course, once again. And no False Promise means a death on him. They also go over to Zibe. Zibe is going to fall in the midst of the fight as they hear the Purge explode on him. Spiritbreaker also goes down, and Monkey King dies trying to battle with the Morphling and everyone else. All of a sudden, it's just Frost versus the world, and he's going to be vortexed right back in and eventually stunned after the fact. So it's a complete wipeout favoring this Dire team, and they're going to retreat for now. But just when you thought a little bit of hope for TFT, Priest Gaming seems to close that door quickly.
Yeah, it looked like a really nice initiation. You know, they were able to get the Morphling very low. He had to run away in fear because I think his BKB was off cooldown for the initial start of that fight. They're able to take the Aegis off the Storm Spirit, but by that point, the whole side of Pries have regrouped, and you know, they show their net worth lead really pays off there. That was a fight without the global silence, and just because they have the Aegis, because they have the net worth lead, they were able to walk over the side of the final tribe. You know, they're all grouped up together. They're tanking waveforms, they're tanking static remnants, and they do get them very, very low, but they're just not able to secure the kills.
Morphling farming in the Radiant jungle off to the left. He's trying to build an Eye of Scotty now. Already has 3,500 gold saved up to get to that point. Shadow Demon almost has a Yule's done himself, so something else to be happy about for the side of Priest Gaming. And also is Disruption. I'm sure we're going to start seeing more and more of that on Morphling being used to create those illusions, and especially once the Eye of Scotty's finished, to push out lanes himself and be that much more annoying when it comes to these team fights. I also noticed the BKB just finished on Storm Spirit, so he's going to have a lot more freedom himself if he hasn't already. It is a little shocking to me that he didn't try to go earlier on Bloodstone this game, considering how he's 13, 2, and 11, but choosing against it at least for now. But he does have the Bloodstone queued up at this point, at least.
Yeah, the thing about the Bloodstone is it's not a very good fighting item in a way, because, you know, it does give you a lot of that mana regen, but, you know, the early on Bloodstone, it doesn't give that crazy amount. Well, we're talking about the Storm Spirit, but I
There's
think,
the saves.
yeah.
They have Disruption, they have Global Science, and that's when those abilities are fantastic for responding. Wukong's just throwing down Storm Spirit, possibly keeping though, and it's flying around, going for Oracle side stuff, and not False Promise yet again. Monkey King standing inside the Wukong, having to battle it out just like before, cannot do worse than away. Big epic standing there later on in the fight too, and Spirit Breaker feels the damage from that. So does Lone Druid. A double kill for V-Tune, and it's very likely going to be yet another complete wipeout in favor of Pries Gaming. I was going to say I don't think TFT can hang on much longer, and they in fact are going to call it GG. Well played, Pries Gaming. They just looked fluid. They played well, and a very deserving Game 1 victory during this elimination match.
Yeah, the side of Pries, they played really well in their laning phase. The side of the Final Tribe, you know, they really picked a whole bunch of the lane dominators from the Darkseer, from the Monkey King, and, you know, the Lone Druid, who doesn't really usually lose lanes, but they pressured them so hard. Great rotations from the Storm Spirit to bottom. A really great job, even after dying mid lane, coming back on, you know, Undershock Storm Spirit. He did a great job versus Chassis. You know, they picked the Monkey King into the Storm Spirit. They thought they were the ones who would be winning that lane. But Undershock, really great work there, and he just accelerated on his farm, and I felt these storm rotations early on, they were just so impactful. They kept Frost down. They forced him to go for the Radiance first instead of his Midas, and just into this mid game, it was kill after kill for the side of Pries Gaming. And Final Tribe, it felt like they were never able to truly come online.
Yeah, the draft, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, it was going to end up being an awful draft, because we didn't necessarily see that when it came to the draft from the TFT. I thought it was, if anything, somewhat even. Both had their PowerPoints and certainly could have won the game in different outcomes. But I guess in hindsight, the Lone Druid, and not even necessarily the way that he played, but the Lone Druid did just feel a bit underwhelming. And I also go back to the idea that it is usually Chassis that plays it, I want to say. So I don't know what changed their mind. They wanted a Monkey King matchup, perhaps, but it did not seem to work out. So something tells me we're not going to see at least the Lone Druid again for TFT. And we'll see what they change in place. But don't want to take away from Pries Gaming and how they played, and certainly played very, very well across the board. Both their cores, especially impressive stat lines there. So they're up 1-0 here now in this best out of 3. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be on a short break. This is our first of 3 best of 3s that'll be happening today. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Hasbaz. Game 2 of the Final Tribe versus Pries Gaming will be on next here for the Chi League European Invitational. Stay tuned.